Hello, folks. Get gravity. Hello. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Wherever you are, hopefully you're staying safe and getting ready to eat all that greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, hams, hogs, and dogs. I think that's what she said. Whatever. I don't care what she said. Yes, I do. Shout out to Shirley Caesar. But yes, folks, it is Wednesday, the day before y'all's Thanksgiving. And I figured I'm going to be really quick with this one because, folk, let's just get into it. Let's just get into it. Y'all love her. Do you not? Yeah, she's nice. She's like Queen of Atlanta right now. She helped Biden get over, and being that Massa Biden got over, he allegedly won the state of Georgia. He turned Georgia blue, folk. That's what the news is saying. I don't believe it, but you know, the hell do I know? But seems according to Trump, there was foul play afoot, little irregularities, because if you watch the election, he was leaning Georgia, and then all of a sudden, Georgia flipped blue, and they said it was the mail-in ballots, which is kind of ironic that Biden had enough mail-in votes to just flip a whole state. But hopefully we'll get closure on December 14th when all the electorates come and all 50 states certified. But folk, y'all, Stacey Abrams is a little bit of she was a little bit of trouble 6 years ago. And I spoke with my partner Rose Gold, who I wish was here, but you know, she don't want to be here. And I came across an article because of course Google suppresses stuff like this, so I use DuckDuckGo when I look up politics stuff, because as an aggregate, whatever ever pops up on search engines, they keep a record of it. So if things like Google and Bing and Yahoo suppress stuff, you can find it here on DuckDuckGo. And I came across this article in Atlanta from 11 Alive. I guess that's their news station. I guess that's one of their stations. And this was back in 2014. Now Rose told me I ain't shit for this because they said that it was an ongoing investigation. So this article is called Republican Stacey Abrams investigated for voter fraud. An investigation is underway into claims of voter fraud involving the state's highest-ranking Democratic elected official. Now again, folk, this was 2014. I'm just going to stress that. This was in 2014. So 2014. This is when it took place. And this was 2 years before she first ran, I believe, for governor. Because I think 2018 they had a special election, if I remember correctly. Well, let's read. In Atlanta, an investigation is underway into claims of voter fraud involving the state's highest-ranking Democratic elected official, the Secretary of State Brian Kemp, who now is the governor, and a rhino. His office launched an investigation after they allegedly received complaints of possible voter fraud from election offices in nearly a dozen counties. Quote, our investigators were talking to the counties and to individuals who had their names forged on voter registration documents, Kemp said. You know that's fraud. Kemp's office has slapped Representative Stacey Abrams' organization, the New Georgia Project, with a subpoena, demanding that they turn over all documents related to their efforts to register voters, store voter information, contact voters, or any other canvassing project. Abrams says her organization has registered more than 85,000 new voters and has responded aggressively to any reports of canvassers who may have filled out forms inaccurately or fraudulently. Her quote is, our answer is we fire the people who made the mistake and make sure we improve our training, Abrams says. That's what we've done every single time. While declining to give a number of potentially fraudulent registration forms, Kemp said he's simply trying to ensure the integrity of the election process. Now, if you talk to somebody in Georgia, let them tell it. He actually committed some fraud as well. He stole the election. That's what she's been claiming for the last 2 years. He stole the gubernatorial election from her. Whatever. They did a fact check. They said part of her claim was false because they can't accurately research it and see if there was fraud taking place. But let Georgia people tell it who like her. She got ousted out. But okay. So then we go to Politico, and this has happened this year. And I even told my wife this, and she laughed herself to death when I told her that, of course, Georgia was having problems with their machines. And lo and behold, folk, they had problems with their machines. So this is the article from Politico. Cause of election day glitch in Georgia County still unexplained. Election officials in Georgia still have no explanation for a technical glitch that created voting problems in 2 Georgia counties on the morning of November 3rd, a local election supervisor said 9 days later. So that was on my birthday, folks. That was birthday week. The supervisor, Marcia Ridley of the Spalding County Board of Elections, had initially attributed the problem to a vendor's 11th hour update to the equipment. Folks, let me ask you a question. The day before an election, why are you updating the software? Don't you think you should have had that hammered out? You guys were doing mail-in ballots, which I'm sure you'd have to use those machines to tally. Why are you doing updates for people that are going to come in the next day? Why didn't you do this the weekend before so you could have time to test everything out? And you were doing early voting. Why is it the day before the election that's when you decided to do this update? But then it says, but log files for the devices, electronic poll books that poll workers use to sign in voters at precincts show that no such update occurred to the devices the night before Election Day, Ridley said in a statement to Politico on Thursday. However, she said she stands by her previous statements last week that a representative for the election technology vendor, Dominion Voting Systems, and I know y'all hearing Dominion a lot, told her office that it had uploaded some kind of update the night before the election, and this had created the glitch. Again, why are you updating the software the night of the election? Why are you doing this? That makes no sense. There is no point. Again, you had time to do this. But, I'm not going to say that they frauded the election. I'm not doing that. But it just seemed weird that he was killing Biden in Georgia, and all of a sudden, Georgia flipped overnight. But, again. But it seems that Miss Stacey Abrams has had a history of this. Because up until now, we've never heard anything about what was going on with Georgia's elections. And I live in New York, and we had our problems with these voting machines. But, it's usually, of course, in the low-income areas, they never work. It's like they get the machines that they had stored a year prior, and they don't. It's like start leaving a car, and then the battery's just dying, and then you just sit there and say, what's going on? But that's Stacey Abrams for you. And her new Georgia project, they're in trouble as well. I'm fixing to show y'all that in a minute. Because they're in a little trouble as well. Because apparently they weren't disclosing some things as a company being used for voting and getting the vote out. So I'm going to pull that up. So we first go to DuckDuckGo, and then we put in the new Georgia project, which is an interesting name given the current climate. Anytime you put something new somebody get mad. They might think something is afoot. Okay, let's see. Georgia Project investigation. Remember, folks, always use new DuckDuckGo. Let's see. We'll use Atlanta Journal-Constitution because they said that they closed it. So let's see. Let's find out why they closed it. Stacey, you got some explaining to do. Well, let's just make sure we add Stacey to this. Now, this was the other article that got Rose mad at me when I sent it to her. So let's share the screen real fast. Oh my god, it's still loading? This is weird. It should be loading still. Wow. It's actually still loading. Okay, here we go. So this is from the Washington Examiner this past April. So apparently her new Georgia project, even though she said she resigned, they said that her campaign illegally coordinated with an outside group in violation of campaign finance laws. And due to Georgia law, they're not allowed to talk about it. But basically, here it is right here. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. I'm not going to play the video because I know I'll flag it. So it says 2 nonprofit organizations, the New Georgia Project and the New Georgia Project Action Fund, acted as a political committee during the campaign when she was running for governor and should have both registered with the state and reported, no, I don't, and report how much they raised and spent. So why did... This is crazy. So we had 2014, she was being investigated. Her campaign for governor was investigated and probably still is, because I read an article in 2019, they were starting the subpoena, and now 2020, they were doing the investigation. It's still ongoing. And now they say her and her team are single-handedly responsible for handing Biden Georgia. And then when people say there's something afoot, people on the left get mad. When Trump contested Georgia, they got upset. They said, why don't you just concede? Now you see why he doesn't want to concede. I showed you the information, so you can't tell me I'm making stuff up. I showed it to you. DuckDuckGo. You can go look this up. I said it before. Trump should have went to Atlanta and talked to the black folks. He probably would have won the state. He didn't do it. Okay, fine, whatever. The fact that Georgia is among the 6 swing states that had a problem election night, not calling the election, when it was clear he won, he was up 2 percentage points with 99 to go. And then all of a sudden, Biden gets in. Before we go, I got to show you this too, folks. This is really going to mess you up. I wish I could do a side-by-side, but I know I don't have that capability. I want you to look at this electoral map back in 2016. But we'll compare it. We will use, where is it? Let me just make sure. Let me see if this one will pull up all the way. Okay. So this is 2016. I'm going to share this screen. This is 2016. So now you're looking at 2016. So here is Atlanta and all the counties that surround it. Over here is Augusta. Savannah's over here. And this is Macon. And then you have your couple blues over here. Right? Now, Trump, remember, Trump won Georgia in 2016. So y'all see that. Here's the 2020 map, and I just want y'all to see this. I don't know if it's this one. This might be 2016 again. Yeah, this is 2016. Is it this one? Okay, that's 2018. They say this is a 2018 governor race. Looks eerily similar, does it not, folks? Again, Atlanta, Augusta, Macon, Savannah. Does it not look eerily similar? Okay. They even have an image here. I don't even know if this is right. Well, that was 40% in, so I'm not even going to touch that. Where's the 2020 map? I don't want to pull up my Instagram because I have it on my Instagram, but I don't want to pull it up. That's 2016. Jesus. I can't find it. I think this might be 2016 again. Yeah. I don't know. They took it down. But believe me when I tell you this, folks. When I looked it up, they said 2020, it was the same exact map. You know what? I'm going to pull it up for you. I know where it is. I made sure to keep a copy of it. I'm going to go on my Instagram. My Instagram would be dry, dog. Once I show you this, I'm going to get up out of here. Where is it? Where are you, Alex? Where? Okay. Come on. But yeah, folk. Okay, here it is. Now, I told him this was 2020. When you see this map, I want you to tell me how this is possible. Explain to me how this is possible, folks. The thing did not move. I know it's a little blurry, but folks, this thing did not move. It's the same exact map. Again, here's Atlanta, Augusta, and, you know, the neighboring areas. Macon's over here, and here's Savannah. How the hell did Biden win Georgia? You gonna tell me Dominion had nothing to do with this? They just reported today that they found 600,000 votes for Biden in Pennsylvania and Trump only got 3,200. How? But again, this is a conspiracy theory. So, folks, I just wanted to make that quick. I was going to roast Stacey Abrams, but I'm going to let her live for now. But if there is evidence of some improprieties, just know I will roast her. But this will lead into Saturday. Rose Gold and I will be back together, and we are going to record our conspiracy theory episode. And unfortunately, we can't do it here because it will be flagged, because they're going to treat us like Alex Jones. So we may put up a clip here and there, or it'll be on the Instagram at Kid Gravity Beyond or Beyond Borders Podcast. I want to thank you all for listening. And when you do listen, just leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. Take care, stay safe, wear your mask to get your supplies. And remember, Google's not always your friend, because that's a diss. DuckDuckGo is your partner. Thank you all, and I'm going to get out of here. Peace.